welcome back to the channel. So before we begin the video today, I just want to remind everyone to go ahead and like and subscribe. Comment down below. Check the description of this video and all the other videos on my channel if you're in a position to help the channel grow in any way. I have links there for my Patreon, Teespring, and several other support links, as well as the usual advocacy links. With all that out of the way, folks, thank you for watching today, and let's get on with the video. Hi, folks, and welcome back to the channel. So, in this video, we're going to be doing continuing our top 5 series. So, this is the top 5 horror movies from 1982. So, again, I did a tag video for my first one in this. There's no obligation to continue on those for anybody who was tagged or continues to be tagged. But if you want to, feel free to join in with me. This is a lot of fun. The Wikipedia link for the curated list of movies will be down in the description below. Take a look at that and make a video. With all that out of the way, let's get on to the list. So we're going to start off, as we do with all of them, we're going to start off with our special mention. And for 1982, it's going to have to be Friday the 13th, Part 3. Friday the 13th Part 3 is 3D. It's also the one where Jason gets his mask. They go a little bit further into the comic relief in this one with Shelley. A lot of people hate Shelley, but I like Shelley. This one, with the exception of the 2 leads, I love all of the supporting characters in it. I really enjoy all of them. The Chris, not so much. She's not really all that interesting until the very end of it. The final sequence, the final fight sequence, is quite good. I enjoy her in that. But as far as the rest of it, she's kind of a weak character. And the guy that she's with is kind of Fred from Scooby-Doo. That's what he always makes me think of. He's just kind of the other person there. But like I said, this is the one where Jason gets the hockey mask. It's done in 3D. Yes, it's 80s 3D, but most of the effects hold up pretty well. I really do enjoy this one. I know, again, a lot of people don't like Shelley, and a lot of people think this one's kind of slow. But the payoff at the end, the final fight's quite good. The way Jason's portrayed in this is quite good. Of course, again, the iconic hockey mask, the 3D effects, the ones that are good are great and hold up. The ones that aren't, that you can see the wires on, are still kind of fun because it's 80s cheese in 3D. So that's my honorable mention on that one. I've always loved this entry. And let's move on to our next one. So, number 5 on my list is Pieces. This is one of those grindhouse, schlock, Italian slaughterfests with a twist of an end on it. Kind of reminds me a little bit, in some ways, of Maniac. Not nearly as good. It's probably, I guess you could say it's an Italian ripoff of it. Linda Day George in it, and the classic line,
"You see it?"
Yes! While we were out here fumbling with that music, the lousy bastard was in there killing her! Bastard! Bastard! Bastard!
He cut that poor girl in half while she was still alive.
The whole movie is one red herring. It's got Bluto from the Popeye movie, if you've seen that. There's an odd martial arts bit encounter in one scene. It's quirky, it's weird, It's slightly off-putting, and it's gory as fuck. It's so much fun. It's a B movie at best, but it's the best kind of Italian B movie you've ever seen. It's really good. Love this movie. So that's my number 5. So number 4 on my list is Slumber Party Massacre. Here we go with the horror comedies again. Yes, it's an effective slasher. It's not so heavy on the commentary, but it's definitely poking fun at slashers. It's a fairly empowering movie. It was intended to be a lot more. It was intended to be a serious movie. But both of them kind of the seriousness went way down. The empowerment kind of pro-feminist, pro-woman thing kind of came down. It's not the kind of movie that beats you over the head. It's not the kind of movie that that can't get its agenda out of the way of its message. It comes across very well in what it's trying to do. There's some really funny scenes in it, both intentional and unintentional. The pizza scene, and of course the weapon of choice for the slasher killer in this one is intentionally very phallic. It very much draws those lines, and it very much kind of in a soft-handed way, it kind of pokes fun at some of the tropes that had been established over the last couple of years before it came out. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. You can dig for more context, or you can shut your brain off and watch it as a slasher. It works on both levels, and I really enjoy this one. So number 3 is Alone in the Dark. This movie has got a stacked cast. Jack Palance, Dwight Schultz. If you're a fan of 80s TV, you'll know that he was Murdoch on the A-Team. Went on to do a few other things, including Star Trek: The Next Generation. But this is one of those, the family is trapped in the house, and a whole bunch of escaped lunatics are trying to get in. It's very claustrophobic. It's very confined. There's a great scene where there's a woman on the bed and there's somebody underneath it, and instead of just reaching and grabbing like you would do in most typical ones, he takes this huge knife and starts shoving it through the bed. It's like I said, it's a really tight claustrophobic movie. It's well paced. It's smartly written. There's a twist at the end of it that's pretty solid. It's not the greatest in the world, but it's pretty solid. And it's a really underrated film, and I really enjoy this one. I didn't actually see this one until, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago, something like that. It just slipped past me. And actually, I saw this because somebody was talking about that Uwe Boll movie, Alone in the Dark, and how horrible it was, and all of that stuff. And it was like, well, this was on Tubi. The other one came out in like 2000. This one's on this list because it came out in the 80s, so I didn't pay any attention to that. I just clicked play just to see how bad it was, looking for one of those, looking to see if it was so bad it's good, or if it was just horrible and I could just, riff on it or whatever. And turned out I got the good version of it. The Uwe Boll has nothing to do with this version of it. That's a completely different thing, and it is as bad as they told me it was. But this one's awesome. Check this one out. Don't get them confused. This one came out in 1982. So, 1982, there's 2 movies left on this list. And maybe I'm a little bit basic on this one, but these 2 movies are awesome. I have loved them since I was a kid. And pretty much everybody else, for the most part. There are some haters, but for the most part, everybody else in the horror community is going to love these movies too, and they define the year, honestly. My number 2 on this list is Poltergeist. Everybody knows this one. Craig T. Nelson and his family, Carol Ann, move into a house. It's haunted. It's directed by Tobe Hooper. It was produced by Spielberg. There's some contention over how much direct influence he had, but it feels very Spielbergian for the most part. But there is definitely some Tobe Hooper moments in it. You all know the story. It's one of the biggest movies ever, so it is what it is with this one. I love this movie. I think it's great. You move the headstones. The house is built on a burial ground. All of that. Awesome movie, and it's definitely number 2 easily. So number 1 on my list is John Carpenter's The Thing. Yeah, this is an awesome movie. Kurt Russell, David Keith, Wilford Brimley, T.K. Carter, trapped in Antarctica at a weather station and being attacked by an alien creature who can completely and totally mimic anyone or anything that a living being that it comes in contact with. It's isolation horror. It's environmental horror because it's Antarctica. It's alien horror. I mean, it covers the whole gambit, and it does it so incredibly well. The isolation of it, the paranoia of it, all of that weighing in on them, and you don't know who you can trust. You can't really trust anybody, but yet you have to, because if you don't, you're not going to survive. It's a brilliant movie, and the practical effects in it are the most grotesquely beautiful thing you'll ever see. It's a classic. There's nothing that I can complain about this movie. Again, the practical effects, the storytelling, the writing, all of that. Of course, we all know it's a very, very loose remake of It Came from Outer Space from the 50s. But this movie is brilliant. Kurt Russell does a great job in it, and so does all the rest of the cast. The effects, like I said, are great. The story's great. This is definitely easily number 1 for 1982. So that's my list, guys. So I want to thank you all so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, and all of that you've done. Please remember to do that on this video as well. Give it a share if you enjoyed it. Check the description down below. I have Teespring, Buy Me a Coffee, Amazon, all of that stuff for support links if you're in a position to help the channel grow. You like what I do and want to help me out. I also have a Patreon if you want early access to this video behind the scenes. You also have direct communications, bounce some ideas back and forth, different things you might want to see a video on, might want my opinion on. All of that stuff is down there below. And as always, y'all be good, y'all be safe, and y'all have a good one.